Hello everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode, 311 I think it is. And today we're going to be talking about the 90-ton mech, the Emperor. All hail the Emperor. Yeah, this one actually, once again, is one of these retcon mechs that they've thrown into the mix. Hey, it predates the Highlander as the heaviest 90-ton mech that ever hit the face of the planet. Splat. Yeah. I guess it by, 20, 30 years, it beat the Highlander of the punch, I guess. That's just retcon things. Okay. One is more popular than the other. Let me guess which one that is. All right. The Emperor is a 353. Has a XL engine, which its life expectancy is about half of the Highlander. Like I said, it's 90 tons. It comes in with 12 double heat sinks, maximum armor of 17.5 tons or 279 points of armor, which is good. Because if you got XLs, you might as well max out the armor and then figure out what you can put on it. Alright, now, it does have a preference of weapons on board. It has, in the right arm, we have an LBX-10. And in the right torso, we have 2 tons of ammo. In the left arm, we have an LBX-10. And the left torso, 2 tons of ammo. So basically, you can throw solid or cluster downrange for 10 turns each. If you even live that long. Alright, now, in the right arm we got a large laser, left arm we have a large laser. Basically, you threw all of your heaviest weapons into your arm, so, which, really, you're probably going to lose a torso before you lose the arm. And if you lose the torso, you lose the arm anyway, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. Even though I always like to spread my weapons around a little bit. Preferably, I would put the large lasers in the right and left torso. But, it is what it is. And then in the right torso, we have a medium pulse laser. And in the left torso, we have a medium pulse laser. And in the head, we have a medium laser. And in the right torso, we got case. And left torso, we have case. Now, we have jump jets. Right leg, left leg, and center torso. All right. So, if you do, by chance, get hit in the ammo, it explodes, you lose 1 torso and 3 engine hits, but you're not going to go catastrophic with that. You lose the mech, but it doesn't explode into a million little bits going everywhere, which is, not a good deal at all when it comes to field repairs and all those little fun activities that go with that. But it is what it is. Now, what do I think of the Emperor? I played with the Emperor, played against the Emperor, and like I said, it does have a good amount of armor, so it can last a couple turns under the sustained fire, trying to knock it down. But by the third turn, if they really focus on it, depending on the lineup that's going against it, and if you're facing the clans, 2 turns and it's usually toast. And if you're firing off against the inner sphere, it may be, on a really good day, might last 4 turns. But usually, my experience is about 2-3 turns and it's done. Because you lose a torso and it's kaput. So, you got that. Now, how do I usually use this thing? When you got weapon systems going out to 18, and you got large lasers going to 18, well, between the 2 of them, you don't have to worry too much about heat. Because, what is the max you do with this thing is 23 if you fire the heavy weapons. Because if you jump and fire the LBX cannon and the large laser, I think it's max 23. So it's a pretty cool mech with that regards for the heat. It's when you start getting in closer, if you do get in closer, and you throw in the pulse lasers and the medium laser, well, yeah, about that. You're probably going to go up about 9, most likely. On the first turn, you fire everything. And if you run, Now, if you walk, that's a different story because you're looking at 21 and 2032, yeah, roughly. So, yeah, you're going up 8. So you are then probably going to have to rely on your jump jets to get you around. And, well, even then, that can be a problem because you're only going to get 1 pip. And when something that moves as slow as this does, or 2 pips, I guess, if you jump 3, and then you're going to have the jump modifier. Now, I guess if you had a pilot in here with jumping jack, hey, do that all the time. Always jump. That would be better. But, it is what it is. We just have to see how that works out. But overall, it's one of these mechs that you kind of not use it into the fray. It's not going to be a mech that you're going to be trying to punch holes into your opponent lines with it, because it's not fast by any means. It's being a 3-5. It's going to move slow. It doesn't have as many modifiers because it's an assault mech of the inner sphere style. So it's going to be easily focused down. So my experience with this thing is kind of hang it back. You're going to be mostly using either in the beginning you might be using the solid shot, and then when you get like the second or third turn of firing at a mech, you're probably going to be using cluster munitions as your this will be your crit hunting mech. So when you're crit hunting, it's like, all right, order operations are always are. All right, if you got any mechs with Gauss rifles and PPCs, you fire them first, bang some holes in somebody, and then you're going to follow up. Now, if you have anybody with like LRMs, go with the LRMs next. Because, yeah, they're hitting with 5-point shot groups. And some might be 3s, some might be 1s. It's just what it is. And then you follow up with this with the cluster munitions and a couple large lasers. Yes, you hit, it's like firing the large lasers and the cluster munitions if you're going to use the cluster. Now, if you're not going to worry about cluster at the first turn or two, yeah, go ahead and just throw them in there earlier with the large lasers and the solid shot. You're going to be same as the individuals that are running with the PPCs. So you're going to be the 10s and then the 8s. But if you're going to fire cluster, well, I typically will fire this thing last and try to get as many crits as possible and try to take a mech out. Because you never know. You might get lucky. It's like a whole bunch of shots go into, say, a right torso where you might have ammo, and you just crit, and boom. Take a mech out pretty quickly that way. And it goes the same way with shooting at this thing, too. It's like, hit this mech with some cluster munitions last, and you might have a chance to blow it up. Because it has those 2 tons of ammunition in each torso. And all it's going to take is 1 ton to get hit, and boom. Even though it has case, it's done dinner. Now, there are a couple versions of this mech hiding around here. There was the 1A, which this was the original version. This all the primitive stuff on it. It came out in 2442. And this one, you're still looking at your same basic mech. Moving, it's a 3.5, has a primitive cockpit, has a couple, carries 3 medium lasers, a couple AC-5s in the arms with 2 tons of ammunition. It has 10 single heat sinks. So, yeah, it wasn't really a great mech to begin with, but it, you think back to the early days, that wasn't so bad. Now, the battle value, say the original, let's see, we're talking about the 6A first, and that was close to 2,000 battle value. Primitive version is like 14.5 battle value. Then we had the 5A. This one was basically carries the autocannons in each arm instead of the LBXs. Also has 2 medium lasers in place of the what do you call it? The pulse lasers. Then it has double heat sinks. So it's basically it's almost the 6A, but has slightly doesn't have the LBX cannons. It has autocannons instead. And it comes in at a little over 1,800 battle value. So still, once again, not something spectacular to write home about. Then we have the 6AEC. This is the clan version. Basically, you're taking clan. It carries 2 ER large lasers, and it has an LBX-5 and an LBX-10, and it has some Streak 4. And it has pretty much the same thing. So just taking the 6A and giving it some clan weapons instead. This one comes in at about 21.5 battle value. A little more expensive, but you know the firepower is just slightly a little bit better. Other than that, not much to write home about. Now, if you would take the standard Emperor and transform it into a clan mech right across the board, you know, with LBXs, the clan pulse weapons, you would save up a little bit of tonnage, and actually you could probably, I think, replace the one medium laser with a clan pulse laser, and I think you can add another one, and maybe some more heat sinks, but I'll have to take a look at that and see if that's the case. And we had the 6D. This was the Federated Suns replaced the autocannons with rotary rack 5s, with 2 of them. So it can send some firepower down range if necessary. And all the lasers were upgraded to ER versions, so it carries a couple extra double heat sinks. So now it's sitting at, 14 double heat sinks. 23, almost 2,400 battle value. And the rack 5s and the ER medium lasers give it some more range and actually a little slightly more firepower in some ways, but at the cost of more battle value. Then we have the Emperor 6L. This is the Capellan version. It uses a standard fusion engine. Now, I've seen this one before on the battlefield. It carries a Gauss rifle, an ERPPC for long-range shooting. It has stealth armor, which gives you an extra 10 heat, but you know it makes it harder for you to be hit at long range. So, hey, carries Guardian ECM, and it has 4 medium pulse lasers for up close, and it carries round triple strength armor. And because this mech is running a little hot, which, hey, if you're going to have your mech designed to be hot, make use of it. And it comes in at 27.5 battle value. Now, if you get this thing heated up, it will kick legs and punch and body parts off enemy mechs if you allow it to get even close to it. So, and there's going to be some holes in somebody with that Gauss rifle and that PPC to begin with. It can stay back if it wants to. And then when the later in middle game, it can go forward and then just start ripping things apart. So there's that option. And then we have the 6M. This was the House Merrick of the Free World and the Word of Blake. Now, I've seen this one before as part of a Word of Blake firepower lineup. This one has Indosteel, has a light fusion engine, so that's a great combination for it because you're saving some weight there, and you don't have to worry about getting a torso taken out, ending its day. Has a pair of light Gauss rifles, so it's got some good range. It has 2 ER large lasers to complement its range, and it has an improved C3 system. So now it can link up with other mechs, so that makes it a pretty deadly little combination. And this one comes in about 2,100 battle value. I've seen this one on the battlefield. It does work pretty decently. And it has triple strength armor and only 10 double heat sinks, which isn't overly a big problem, because with triple strength, you're not worrying about the heat as much, because you're kind of dialing that in to be where it needs to be. And when it carries 3 medium pulse laser and an ER medium laser, hey, it's got some firepower to make it. And then when it gets in close, it just starts kicking and punching. Yep, not good. Then we got the 6M2. This one is a refit of the 6M, which is listed above. It replaces the Blake C3I with a standard C3 system and modifications. So basically, kind of the same mech, but with a slightly different command and control stuff on board. Then we got the 6S. This is the Lyrian Commonwealths. All right. This one carries 2 LBX-20s. Now let's go back to previous where I was talking about cluster munitions. A couple LBX-20s is going to get crits. All right. So you have someone else shoot the armor off somebody, and you come up with this thing and then just cluster them to death. Let me tell you, even if you don't get through the armor, the odds are you might get some head hits and center torso hits, or random crit, like rolling those floating crits. And let me tell you, if you do, the odds are you're going to get a few head hits in, and you might even knock pilots out. And this one has 3 medium pulse lasers and a regular medium laser. And it comes in a little, slightly less than 2,100 battle value. So, not a bad little design. And then we got the 7L, another Capellan version. This one has Guardian ECM, has triple strength, take care of the heat that you're going to be building up with it. It removes the jump jets for a couple twin auto cannons, so AC-10s. You've probably been better off with a couple PPCs, but it uses special munitions. So you got 6 tons of ammo on board. So you can pack in a couple extra tons of special munitions with those AC-10s to make use of it. And it has case to go with that. And it has an ER large laser and a couple medium pulse laser. And this one comes in slightly over 2,200 battle value, which is not bad, but you got to make most of the special munitions to make this thing a decent mech. And then we got the 8L. This one replaces it's an upgrade of the 7L. All right, so it replaces the with a couple LBX 10s instead of the standard AC 10s. And then you have they talk about re-engineered lasers on board for medium pulse laser and ER large laser for plasma rifles. So now you have a plasma rifle instead of an ER large, and 2 tons of ammunition. You have 4 tons of LBX cannons, similar to this original design, and you have case, and it has triple strength. And this one comes almost at 2,400 battle value. So there you go. All of them realize that, hey, we're going to be warm and hot. You might as well use triple strength to make the use of it. So if you're going to heat up, you have a weapon system on board to, because the Endersphere has a tendency to get in close and likes to kick and punch. So compared to the clans, which like to stay away and use range to their advantage, Endersphere likes to close, grab you by the nose, and start kicking you while you're down. All right. And then there's a couple off ones, which one was Clan Glass Scorpion. This one was a restored, basically a version that has replaced all the Endersphere Star League stuff with Clan Tech. It comes in a little over about 2,100 battle value. And the Mercury Elite, this is another one based on this one has a C3 slave in the head, snub nose PPC, Gauss rifle, a couple extra double heat sinks, and 2 medium pulse lasers, and it carries triple strength. You know, there's a trend here, and all running around with triple strength, which is a good deal. I like triple strength, so if you have a mech that runs a little warm, put triple strength on. Make use of it. Actually embrace the heat. One of the few times you're going to see me saying, hey, embrace the heat, because if you've got a mech that's going to be hot, put triple strength on it. And give yourself some slight advantage for being warm. So, there you go. Let's see. I think there was a version that we played with not long ago. I don't think I see it. Yeah, it must be my brother that had that one. What they did was got rid of the pulse lasers, upgraded to a couple ER large lasers, and I think it had a couple more, or 3 more heat sinks, or 2 more heat sinks. Because I think they downgraded the 2 pulse lasers to medium, so I had 3 medium lasers, and then I had 2 more heat sinks to at least take care of some of the heat problems that went with it. But there's that. And yes, I think it did have triple strength also. So there. So that's it in a nutshell. Not a great mech, not a bad mech. Depending on the version you're going to run around with. Well, maybe the one where it might have been a 464. I think it got rid of the XL for light fusion engine, if I believe. Might have been what happened with that one. I'm thinking back to it. But overall, if you can get the one with the light fusion engine, or which run around with the Word of Blake, well, those aren't too bad. And if you can get some of the later ones that get rid of the fusion engine for light fusion engine and some other different weapon systems and triple strength, yeah, it's not a bad then. But in the original version of 6A, it's not so great. So that's it. That's the Emperor in a nutshell. All right, hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hal Greg's out.